Welcome back to Beyond the Lines, the show where we talk to people who live extraordinary lives behind ordinary faces. Today, we are stepping into a world most of us only see in movies, the world of intelligence. Joining me is someone whose name I can't reveal. Let's just call him Arjun. He's a field agent from India's Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, and he's here to give us a glimpse into what it's really like to live life in the shadows. Arjun, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rohan. It's strange to be doing this, honestly. Usually, we're told to never talk about what we do, but I'll keep it within the safe zone.
Fair enough. No state secrets, just stories. So let's start at the beginning. What made you want to join RAW? Was it patriotism or did you just stumble into it?
A bit of both, actually. I was in the army first. I'd done my time in uniform, and one day I was approached, quietly, by someone who said, "We've been watching your work. Would you be interested in something different?" That something different turned out to be RAW.
That sounds straight out of a spy thriller, but I'm sure it's a lot less glamorous. Tell me, what happens after that? Do they just hand you a secret badge and send you on missions?
If only. No, it's a long process. First comes verification. Every aspect of your life, your past, your family, your habits, everything is checked. Then comes the training.
I've always been curious about that. What's RAW training actually like?
Intense. Mentally, physically, emotionally. They break you down completely and then rebuild you into someone who can disappear in plain sight. There's endurance training, of course, but also things like language learning, disguise, surveillance, cryptography, even psychology. You learn to read people, their micro expressions, their fears, their lies.
That sounds exhausting. Any specific moment that really tested you?
Yes, there's a week we call the isolation test. You're cut off from everyone. No phone, no contact. You're put in an unknown environment with limited resources. You have to survive, gather information, and report back without being detected. It's not about strength, it's about staying calm when everything inside you wants to panic.
Rohan.
Wow, that sounds brutal. How do you even prepare for something like that?
You don't. You adapt. That's the essence of fieldwork. Adaptation. You can plan all you want, but in the real world, plans fall apart in seconds.
Speaking of the real world, can you tell us about your first mission? Without revealing anything classified, of course.
Let's just say it was in a neighboring country. My cover was as a journalist. I was supposed to collect intel on a suspected arms deal. The first time I crossed the border with a fake name and a false passport, my hands were shaking. Not from fear, but from adrenaline. You suddenly realize if anything goes wrong, there's no backup. You're on your own.
That's heavy. People often think spies are fearless, but it sounds like fear is part of the job.
Absolutely. Anyone who says they don't feel fear is lying. The key is to manage it. In our line, fear keeps you alert. Overconfidence gets you killed.
That's a powerful line. Tell me, Arjun, is there any part of training or the job that surprised you? Something people wouldn't expect?
Yes, how much emphasis is put on listening? You'd think spying is about action chasing cars, breaking codes, but 80% of the time, it's about listening. To people, to patterns, to silence. Sometimes the absence of information tells you more than the presence of it.
That's poetic in a way. But it also sounds lonely. Is it?
Yes, very. You can't share what you do, even with the people you love. You live two lives, one real, one constructed. Over time, it blurs. You miss birthdays, weddings, sometimes funerals, but you learn to live with it.
That must take a toll on your mind. How do agents like you cope with that?
We're taught mindfulness techniques. mental conditioning. But honestly, you cope by remembering why you do it. You don't do it for recognition or medals, you do it so someone else can sleep peacefully, never knowing you are out there protecting them.
That's profound. You know, people often call RAW a mystery organization. You guys don't even have an official website. Does that secrecy ever frustrate you?
It's part of the job. The best compliment for an intelligence officer is silence, when nobody even knows you existed. That's how you know you did it right.
That's both chilling and inspiring. But let me ask you something lighter. Do agents actually use gadgets like we see in movies? Tiny cameras, pens with transmitters, stuff like that?
Some of that is true. Technology is crucial. But real intelligence work is more human than high tech. It's not about gadgets, it's about getting someone to trust you enough to tell you what you need. That's the ultimate tool, human connection.
So, not James Bond, more like a psychologist in disguise?
Exactly. You'd be surprised how much of espionage is empathy. You can't manipulate or recruit someone unless you understand them, their pain, their motives, their loyalties.
That's fascinating. After all these years, Arjun, what's the biggest lesson this life has taught you?
That truth is rarely black or white. In intelligence, everyone believes they're serving their country. But in the field, it's not about flags, it's about people. And you realize peace is the most difficult mission of all.
That's beautifully said. Before we wrap up, if a young listener out there wants to serve their country in RAW, what would you tell them?
First, serve with integrity wherever you are. RAW doesn't recruit people who want to be spies. It looks for people who quietly do their duty with excellence. So focus on building discipline, curiosity, and calmness under pressure. And remember, patriotism isn't loud, it's silent, steady, and selfless.
That might be one of the best definitions of patriotism I've ever heard. Arjun, thank you, not just for your time, but for your service. And to everyone listening, remember the people who keep us safe often work unseen, unheard, and unacknowledged. This conversation was a rare glimpse into that unseen world. If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a friend and follow Beyond the Lines for more stories from the hidden corners of our world. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep listening.